What's up, y'all? This is Muff Cabbage, and you listening to the LCC Network, where we keep it popping 24/7. You heard?
Hey everyone, I'd like to do a quick shout out to Mafali. Thanks for that intro. You already know you're listening to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network, and it is week 11, the second to last regular season game. I mean, this is it. This is where the playoff. That's right. This is where the playoff picture starts to take shape. Every game literally has playoff implications, unless you're Storm or if you're Matthew Watchhorn. But other than that, we got a great show. I've got Jameson with me today. We don't have Isaac. He was a little too tired to join us, hence why he suggested we change the waiver wire time from 9 p.m. Eastern to earlier. But yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, we're here. Week 11. There's a lot going on this week. We wanted to break down some of the playoff projections briefly, and then really we're gonna just kind of kick it right into our next episode, kind of all in one. Just because we don't want to. We don't have any other content we want to cover for this week just yet. We wanted to kind of break down some of the playoff projections. We had another division take shape this week. Patrick DeQuan won his division, so he is locked into the playoffs along with Colby.
We got a soundtrack for him. We got a soundtrack for that.
Yeah. You know what? Here, since he's the division title,
if you want to crown him, then crown her.
So we'll just crown his ass. DeQuan Colby locked into the playoffs. So that hasn't changed, right? So Colby's still number one, due to the conference tiebreaker or division tiebreaker. I can't remember, but he holds that tiebreaker over DeQuan and Hunter. DeQuan is second because he holds the tiebreaker, the head-to-head over Hunter, I believe. Or there was some deciding factor. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Hunter in third place has not clinched his division yet because Michael is only 2 games behind, and they do play each other again in week 12. So right now Hunter's got the inside track, and I think if Hunter wins this weekend or Michael loses, they then he. Why are you putting stuff in the show doc to make me laugh?
Got it.
Hunter wins or Michael loses, Hunter clinches the division this week. And I think the same thing with Mondo. If Mondo wins or Mufali loses, Mondo clinches his division too. So we could see a lot happening at the end of this week.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. It's in both conferences, not even just the top shotters. You know, it's anybody's ball game at this point of the year.
Yep. Speaking of Michael's the 5th seed right now. And then Cody snuck back into the playoffs. The playoff projections with a win this week over Storm, I believe. But he's got a tough game against Colby, which we'll kind of break down a little bit later. So that's kind of how the playoffs are shaking up in the top shotters. Do any of these teams surprise you, Patrick? Anyone here that you didn't think was going to be here?
You know what's crazy is we hyped in the offseason. We hyped up DeQuan. We hyped up Colby after the draft. We hyped up Cody, obviously, the entire offseason. And the two teams, well, we said Michael had potential, but now he's actually there. I mean, we projected 5th seed. He could obviously move around in there throughout the next 2 weeks. And then Mondo was another one that kind of pleasantly surprised us. He's been really good this year. He's a 4th seed right now. If in the day he'd be playing Michael in the wild card. That's nuts because guys like Jordan aren't in it for a second year in a row if the season ends today. It's definitely surprising.
And that was going to be my point too, is there are some guys in here that we knew, right? We knew Hunter was going to be, I thought, a top 2 seed, and he still can be. DeQuan, I didn't expect that from Colby, but Cody, we thought he'd be here, even though we did expect regression. But we really expected for 100% Mufali. Right? Like, I think he was my pick at the beginning of the season to win it all outside of myself, which probably isn't going to happen, but for either one of us. but I mean, Mufali, he just hasn't, it's been surprising. Jordan's been a little disappointing as well. So it's very, very interesting what's happening there in the in the top shotters. And I'll be interested to see if Cody can take the title again from the wild card like he has the last 2 years. So
It'll
very
be tough. I think this is the toughest the Top Shot has ever been. So it's not going to be as easy of a a road to the championship.
No, yeah, it's going to be tough. In the Elite 12, not a ton of movement. A little bit. Billy's still at the top, even though he's lost 4 of the last 5 games, which we'll kind of cover a little bit later when we break down his matchup. But still holding on to that first seed because he does own the head-to-head over you. And you're currently in second place. Kind of not to beat up on you here, buddy, but kind of in a situation with Billy where you kind of had a big lead. It's kind of been trimmed down a lot over the last few weeks, and now you're kind of in a competition heading to the end of the season here.
Yeah, I think I've had since week 4, I've won 2 games. I want to say, so I think I started 4-0, if I remember right. So now
I think it was
6.
I think it was 5-0, wasn't it, or was it 4-0?
No, I think it was 4-0.
Okay.
I don't think I went 5 straight weeks. No, it's been a tough second half to say the least. But hopefully I don't continue to fall because I mean literally the teams that are from 1 to 6 that we're talking about right now could easily fall out of the playoff picture. None of us have clinched, and so much can change just within this week. Once we get to some of these matchups later in the episode, it'll be, I think we'll kind of see the implications at stake here.
Yeah, and yeah, that's another thing that's a little bit different from the Elite 12 and the top shotters. Is the top shotters have 2 people who have clinched already. It's very, very top heavy if in that conference.
Yeah.
If you look at it, right, 3 teams with 8 wins. In our conference, no teams with more than 6 wins. So it's a lot more like dispersed. We kind of beat up on each other a lot. We have a lot of teams who are in that 6-win category, but not. So it's not as top heavy, I guess, is what I'm saying. We don't have any people who have clinched divisions yet. In fact, everybody in the Elite 12 is still mathematically alive heading into week 11.
That's nuts.
It's
Technically,
crazy.
Jade can make the playoffs.
Even Jade can make the playoffs. And I don't think that's ever happened. I was thinking about that today. I don't think that's ever been the case before. Like heading into week 11, all 12 players in the Elite 12 are still technically eligible, even though I think probably, 4 of them are probably going to fall out after week 11. But very, very interesting there. I fall at the 3rd seed over my win over BP. I told you I would get it because I needed it desperately. My Frankenstein team has just enough life to hold on to the 3rd seed right now. Mike in the 4th seed, and it looks like that division again is going to have a losing record, I think, to finish the season. What do you right now? He's 4 and 6. Yeah.
It's I mean more than likely, yeah. I mean the chances of him losing one out of the next 2, yeah, there's obviously a 50% chance there of that happening. It's going to be, I don't know, man. It's nuts to think for 2 years in a row in the Elite 12 North, we're going to have a 5-7, 6-6 at best case scenario division winner.
Best case scenario.
I don't know. Maybe does that mean we need to realign some of the divisions to spread out the competition more? I don't know what that means, but that's just crazy because from what you can see already, you guys listening, the playoff picture and the Elite 12 has not changed hardly at all from 2018.
No, it looks almost identical to what it did last year to some degree. I mean, Mondo, obviously, it was David's team last year, and David was in there. Cody was in there. Hunter, Colby, I think, was a late seed. I think so it's basically the same team, or the same teams as it was last year, except Jade was in Mike's spot, but still only won 5 games. So not a whole lot has changed between 2018 and 2019. Isaac, the 5th seed over John. They played each other, and Isaac beat him, broke the record, by the way. So I think we need to play something here for.
If you want to crown them, then crown their.
For Isaac, he's the new king of the single game record. So congrats to him. And then John is in the 6th seed, probably one of the strongest 6th seed teams that we've ever seen at 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone listening kind of knows my thoughts on Eastside Brawlers. That team, do not be shocked if you see them in the Elite 12 finals. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Whether he's going through the 1st seed or 2nd seed, it doesn't matter. He's gonna plow right through it. It's like, yeah, I don't see another way it doesn't happen.
Yep. And if the playoffs
that's why I'm praying that I do get the first round bye, so at least I can say I got to the divisional round.
If you, I'm in the 3rd seed right now, so imagine how I feel having to play John in the wild card round if that were the case. Just absolutely run my team over. Bowl games: BP versus Charles for the Visa Bowl, Cameron versus Mufali for the Pizza Hut Bowl, and Peyton versus Matt in the McDonald's Bowl. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it for the bowl games. So. Any final thoughts, any of that before we kind of jump into the game of the week here?
I will say this, especially that Pizza Hut Bowl. Like, if 4 months ago, I would have told you, yeah, I could see that matchup being like the Little Critter Bowl. But now we're talking potential Pizza Hut Bowl. That's just mind blowing. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's where it is right now. Obviously, one of those teams could easily get into the playoffs, and that changes everything. But it's just really weird to look at the moment.
Yep. 2 weeks left, guys. You got 2 weeks to make your mark on the 2019 season. So work the waiver wires, make it happen. Or if you're Jade, you just give up and I guess get ready for next year. Not even setting his lineup anymore, which is just indicative of how that season's gone. So, all right, Pat, let's jump into the game of the week. We're going to do the game of the week, and then we're just going to kind of, discuss until we run out of time for today, and then we'll pick up with the rest of them on the next episode. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's football time. Once again, it's on. So everybody.
All right, game of the week. We're going to give the people, Patrick, what they asked for. I saw this in the group chat.
At least what 2 people asked for.
At least what 2 people asked for. The only 2 people that said anything. Cameron and Billy, game of the week. Detroit Bad Boys 6-4 versus the Spurs 5-5. A lot of playoff implications here. A lot of history here. This should be a very good one. Pat, break down some of the history, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. So despite Billy only being in the league since 2016. Yeah, 2016. There's still a pretty good of it, at least significant history between the 2 teams. This is their 8th meeting, first of all, and Billy leads the series 5-2. So despite Cameron, going to Little Critter Bowls and all this past success, Billy's really been the better team since 2016. When you look at it over the past 3 years, you can't deny Billy hasn't been the better owner for that time period. The last time Cameron won was week 5 of 2017. He won 273-242, which was the last time Cameron made the playoffs, first of all. And then if Cameron wins it, this is going to put him first in the division, kind of like I think we talked about it earlier in the episode. And since week 5, here's another storyline. Billy has gone 1-4. Only 1 win since week 5. That's crazy when you consider how good he was. I mean, we were kind of just thinking, yeah, I guess he's probably going to win the conference, just the way how things were going at the time. But and then a year ago today, Cameron was in the exact same position at 5-5 and played Billy, but lost, which caused him to not just, not win the division, but he fell to the 2nd worst team in the league on the 2nd overall pick in the draft. You go from 5-5 to getting the 2nd pick in the draft. I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And so I'm sure some 5-5 teams in the league right now are, oh shit, I hope that's not me. But only 1 team has ever won the Little Critter Bowl after losing the last 3 games of the season. So in this case, I'm talking to Billy, obviously. Cody is the only team to have done it. And in fact, he did it in back-to-back years and was 8-1 before week 10. So before that, No one who's ever won the Little Critter Bowl has lost the last week of the season. let alone the last 3 games this season in a row.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that Cody had done that. Back-to-back years. That's crazy. Yeah, no, this is gonna be big. I was looking through some of the rosters earlier. Billy has Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Kevin Bayard on a bye, and it doesn't look like Cameron's got a lot of guys on bye at all. At least nobody that's important. And he's got some really good matchups. Joey Bosa against that beat up Kansas City offensive line, the hobbled Pat Mahomes there. Jimmy Garoppolo against Arizona. Budda Baker and Harrison Smith have had good seasons. So. Pat, I think Cameron wins this one and momentarily at least takes the division back from Billy for week 11.
No, I'm 100% behind you on that one. When you look at the matchups, they're going to be good. I mean, Budda Baker should have a busy game against San Francisco. Jalen Smith, I do worry about him playing against Detroit. You may see lower numbers than usual this week from him, but other than that, the fact that Billy is losing 3 of his starters, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Kevin Byard, it's going to be rough. I mean, despite, Cameron may score, let's say, like 280, but I mean, Billy could end up scoring less than that just because of some of the buys he's got. This is a perfect opportunity for Cameron to get back in this thing. We had pretty much written him off for the division, but with this win, this puts him in first place in the division for at least a week, like you said, and maybe, we'll end up clinching it if he wins week 12 against Peyton.
If Billy loses this game and then loses the division overall, it's going to be one of the worst second half season collapses I can remember in a long time.
It probably is. I've totally forgot what our top 10 was. I remember we did an episode of this in the off season, which was pretty interesting. But he would definitely deserve to be on that list, 100%. And if you think about it, if he does that, there's a good chance he doesn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, yep. No, I definitely agree with that. And some of those collapses were from teams that we never really expected to be playoff teams, right? Like teams like Tyler have lost 6 in a row to end the season, right? But I mean, to go to be a former conference champion, 5-0, to if he loses this game to Cameron, dropping 5 of his last 6, that's a weird season. That's a strange turnaround. So,
and it doesn't get easier next week for Billy either. He's got Daquan, who's got one of the best records in the top shotas, and he only has one bye week, and that's Jordan Hicks next week for Daquan. This is a must win for Billy.
Yep.
Probably more important for Billy than it is for Cameron.
Yeah, I agree. This is a big game. So, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of trash talking. So, one for everyone to watch. The game here, next game on the list, Give Me More myself, 5-5 versus Protect the Booty. Tyler at 4-6. Another rivalry game. We won't get too far into the history because we've kind of discussed it before, but we have played each other 12 times. I've beat him 9 out of the 12 times, so not a lot of rivalry there, I guess. He's sort of in it this season, sort of not, sort of in it. I always ask him why he forgot to set his lineup. He tells me he just kind of like forgets, and he's been focusing on his other fantasy leagues and whatnot. So I mean, I hope to win this one. If I don't win this one, I don't deserve to make the playoffs. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Pretty easy statement. Not a whole lot to analyze there. Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot to analyze. Not a lot of players on bye for either one of us. I'm sure I'll be working the waiver wire, and he probably won't even set his lineup. So that's kind of just an easy break for me as I've struggled this season. But you okay with moving on from that one?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, Tyler's had 1 winning season since 2013.
Yeah.
So
yep.
I think that says enough.
Okay. Yep, that says all we need to say. All right, Will, we got another one here.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
Dirty Mike, 4-6, division leader facing terrible towels. Jade at 2-8. Jade didn't even field a competitive team last week. Did he fail to break 100? Was that the final score?
Yeah.
Didn't break 100.
Yep. First time since 2016.
God, didn't set his lineup. I think Jade's given up. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't log back in for the rest of the offseason or for the rest of the season, honestly.
I totally agree with you, which is, which really sucks because I don't know. I'm not that type of person. Even I could be 0-10 right now, and I'm still trying to win.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm still trying to get my first win. He's won 2, and I think this is a very winnable game for Jade, honestly. But unfortunately, like you said, I mean, I don't even know if he's coming back, which sucks for the competitiveness of the league, and it's only giving people free wins the last 2 weeks of the year, which no one wants.
Yeah, I think at least at the very least, it's kind of like just in that division, right? At least it's kind of contained there, and it's not spreading beyond that for the most part. So it didn't really matter who came out of that division. I don't think it's going to be a really competitive team anyway. So luckily for at least now, as we can get it fixed, it's just kind of like contained there. But Mike should win this one, right? I think we both agree with that.
Oh yeah, 100. It would be just a travesty if somehow Mike ended up losing this game when Jade's probably not going to set his lineup. I mean, Jade hasn't won in 5 weeks. He's lost 5 straight. Mike's lost 4 straight. Something's got to go right, and it's probably going to go right for Mike.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dirty Mike's dirty win and moves to 5-6. Michael at 6-4 versus the Crazy Legs at 4-6. I don't know if these guys how much record they have or history they have, but Matt started out so strong. Do you remember that when the season started? Yeah.
I remember we were complimenting him on like the comeback he had made from the previous year, and it's not that Matt's not trying. He's definitely trying. It's just things haven't gone his way, and maybe he needs another year to rebuild that team. I mean, he went 2 straight championships and won both of them, and now it's back-to-back years potentially missing the playoffs. He's on a 2-game losing streak. At best case scenario, he's going 6-6 if he wins the next 2. So it's not looking good. And the last time he won was week 2 of 2018. So it's been a minute. Michael's won the past 2 games by nearly 100 for the past one. But then the time before that, Michael beat him by well over 100. Beat him 311 and 189. So yeah, it's crazy to think that Matt has just nosedived that far down in the rankings because of the loss he's had.
So have you looked at the matchups? Michael has 4 players on a bye this week. Emmanuel Sanders is also hurt. He may not play. So he could potentially be missing 5 of his 10 starters against Matt, who has nobody on a bye this week at all. Well,
he does have Aaron Rodgers. Matt does, but I don't think he needs Aaron Rodgers. He's got Dak. As his backup.
Yeah.
He's also got Chris Carson, which I'm sure sucks because he can't use it this week. But
Coleman against Arizona, to me, that's a wash. That's pretty much even. So I went into this, and I mean, Michael's got good backups with Jimmy G and Robert Woods. I mean, he can still plug guys in. I went into this picking Michael, but I think I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to go Matt and pick an upset here.
I'm going Matt too, which sucks for Matt. I'm picking him. And I'm picking him because I really do think he's going to win this game. No joke. Blake Martinez, I'm losing him against Isaac, which really sucks. And then on top of that, he's losing Russell Wilson. And then Golden Tate has been very consistent ever since he's been back. I don't know, man. This may be a week where we get a big upset and it shifts the playoff picture going into week 12.
Man. Well, sorry, Matt, that Pat's picking you, but we believe in you this week. So go out and win a game. We'll call it there. We'll call it there for this show. We don't want to run it too long. We'll break down the rest of the remaining 7 games in the next episode for you guys. Pat, anything before we go?
Not much. Oh, don't forget, we do have the player poll open right now, so it should still be up by the time most of you guys are listening. It doesn't close till Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's this Sunday. So make sure you go and vote. It's a big, serious rule change decision you have to make. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.